tell me about your life. I want to hear
My life?
a story. A good story, a recent
I have a
one.
piece of paper. Oh, a better one isn't on that.
Not on the
Recently, I matched with somebody, and then, as usual, I'm lying to them a bunch because it's fun. And
As one does.
one of these days, someone's gonna fucking hit me with a truck. Fucking this girl that I met, she asked me at one point. I don't remember. It's a lot of conversations with a lot of people, but I'm pretty sure it's her. She asked me what I do, and I was like, I'm a dentist. And she said, like, what's the dentistry called? What's the name of the business? And I gave her a name. I don't remember what it was. It was like Thomas and Sons or something like that. I think I looked at a bagel bag, and I was like, that's the fucking name of my dentistry. I think I said MD as well, so it's like my own practice, which I think is very fancy. And then earlier today, in the future, she asked me, earlier today, she asked me, what was the name of your dentistry again? I want to look it up. And I gave her the name again. And she was just like, no, wait, I didn't give her the name again. That was what made it funny. I was just like, I'm not telling you. And she said, I was just like, I'm going to find it then, kidding around. And I'm like, fucking good luck. It doesn't exist. It's going to be a hard search. What if she actually comes back and then it is like Thomas and Sons MD and it is a picture of me? It's like another version of myself. Are you looking it up?
I am.
It's literally, I think I used Thomas Bagels and then just said and Sons.
The closest thing is Thomas and Son Farms, which is a farm in Maryland.
Well, that'll be a fun discovery.
She'd be like, hang
It's
on.
an animal dentistry.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can just say you're an animal dentist.
Yeah, I work with horses. You know how I didn't mention that at all and mostly talked about how I have little, quips with my human patients? Well, I'm actually a liar and insane.
I actually speak to animals. I can imagine her getting extremely crushed when she finds out, hey,
Do
wait
you
a
think Nancy
minute.
Drew is a competent detective?
I did not read those books. I was all about the Hardy Boys because mystery
met
novels
her.
are gendered. Yeah, I know,
Do you
but I
remember
never read the crossover event.
Do you remember the train boxcar children? You remember them? And all the adventures they had?
Aren't they
I think I read one of
bored?
those books. There was a lot of mystery books that I read.
Boxcar children. Oh, yeah.
I read a lot of scary stories to tell in the dark and crap.
Those shit always freaked me out. The covers of those would always
covers
just be like
yeah,
the most
that was usually the
horrifying
worst part.
like shit in the world. They're
'Cause
making a
the cover
movie
of
out of
it-
it.
They are, yeah, and I hope it's good. But isn't it Guillermo del Toro? I thought it was a series that they were doing.
No, it's a movie. Yeah, there's a teaser trailer.
I think I've seen it, yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. It is horrifying. They released some pictures of it, and people did like little side-by-sides of that and like the images from the books, and it's really, really creepy. And the poster...
The little monster that you see in the trailer?
Yeah, and there's a poster of this girl looking at like a zit on her face in the mirror.
Oh, it's the little bug.
And the little like spider popping out. Yeah, that's how you get to me, dude.
That reminded me of that garbage movie that Your Movie Sucks tore apart called Wish Upon.
A wish upon. Isn't that
where
one of
she's got
those-
the little musical box and she makes wishes and stuff, but they're all like, the
Oh,
hubris
yeah,
of,
yeah,
wishing
yeah,
for things
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember if it's this movie or if it was a different one, it's pretty much identical. But a lot of the garbage, sci-fi horror movies that are coming out are just like the trailer's like, it's like she made a wish. It's like, oh, it's garbage and awful. And it's always the same very short, petite white girl actor that is like, there are multiple of them,
Budget
but it's
Arya
always
Stark.
the same person.
Exactly.
And the storylines are always like finding an object or finding out about like some mystery, like the Bye Man or Truth or Dare or like any of those garbage movies. But yeah,
Happy Death Day or whatever.
Yeah, that one sucked. Fucking. Well, actually, I've heard that one's actually good.
I heard the first one is actually good. The second one was like a letdown, which is like
That's
weird.
what people said.
Yeah,
I think it was like building on the hype, and they were like, we only had the.
Yeah, like it's one of those movies that doesn't know what to do with its success, and it immediately like ruins like why it was good in the first place.
That's what I was worried about with John Wick, but it completely delivered.
Nope. I think I like the second one better than the first one, honestly.
It's. I mean, both are awesome movies, but there's just so much more going on in John Wick 2.
Yep. Exactly.
He doesn't want to be Like, in the first one, he had motivation and conviction to go back to that life. But the second one, he was just like, fuck!
Yeah.
I don't want to kill people.
Literally just gets, like, dragged into it. And, like, some of the, like, the kills in that movie are insane. Like, he literally... You know, they always talk about him, like, killing people with, like, a pencil or whatever. And then in that movie, he, like, actually does it. And it's, like, amazing.
It was a pen.
Yeah. Or whatever. Some writing utensil. A quill, if you will.
A quill, if you will. But yeah, in Wish Upon... I think she wishes for, like, I wish Stacey Abrams would rot. And it was just like, oh my God. And then actually Stacey Abrams starts to rot. Like, her cheek starts to like fall apart.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then she's like, oh, I have the power to do that. And then she wishes that her dad was like a cool guy and would stop.
Guy.
First she wishes that she had a bunch of money. And then her eccentric uncle who has a bunch of money, like, snapped his neck on his fucking dishwasher or something. And then... She received all of the inheritance, and then she bought everybody in the family a big mansion, and they're all happy. But her dad still chooses to pick trash because that's his, like, profession. Is like he goes
it's his passion
for garbage, and then she's like, "Dad, we have all this money. What are you doing picking trash, Dad?" And then it was so weird. And then she went and made the wish. It was like, "Man, I wish my dad was cool." And then he becomes like this jazz musician in a band, and he plays like the saxophone. It's so stupid. I haven't actually seen the movie. I just watched somebody tear it apart, and it was really fucking funny.
That's funny as fuck. I thought, like, I wish my dad was cool, and then, like, he freezes to death or some bullshit.
It would be exactly that stupid.
Yep. Oh my God. Do you
Some
remember
monkey's paw twist?
You know what's a movie I love? Not love because I haven't seen it, but just love, like, the idea of how, like, dumb it is The Box, the one where you press a button.
Push it, you get $1 billion, whatever. Somebody dies.
Someone dies.
I would push that box fucking 8 billion times. There is no way anyone I know who I like, which is like 5 people. There's no chance. I'm winning this game. It's a stacked deck.
Did you make a Vine about this?
It was, I mean, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about the movie. It was just like something that I've heard a billion times where it's just the hypothetical of, you get this much money and, play this harmonica and 1 billion people die, and then somebody grabs the harmonica and plays it a bunch. It's like, Kevin, no.
That one.
Way too many fucking Tinder messages where somebody says, Kevin, no.
Instant block. Or you just tell them you're a dentist. What are you talking about?
It's never an instant block for those. I just usually lie to them.
Lie your ass off.
I like telling people that I'm a catfish.
Just straight up, like, I'm a cat.
Yeah.
Being very upfront with them.
But also, like, sometimes it's the direct, like, I'm a catfish. I actually hate Patrick. Or something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to ruin his life.
Because just saying Patrick, I mean, just saying that I'm a catfish is going to make them go like, oh, and then unmatch me. But if I say, I'm a catfish, also I fucking hate Patrick, and they like me for my vines, they're like, what do you have against Pat? You're defacing his name? And I'm just like, he's a fucking piece of shit. He lies to people all the time, just tell actual truths about me. He has a stupid podcast.
I feel like anyone with, like, half a brain could, like, put together that's exactly the kind of thing you would do. But
people don't know me that well.
That's true.
I mean, people listen to this. We got like 100,000 views or something like that now.
Yeah,
you're getting pretty crazy.
The jig is up.
I should probably stop saying nobody listens to this because it's an insult to the people that do. Because a lot of people, for what this garbage is, do listen to us. But not enough people do. And my videos on Instagram and Vine weren't really telling about my personality besides being cynical and angry.
Yeah.
So nobody knows that I'm also like Loki on Tinder.
I was watching this, like, video breaking down and ranking all the Marvel movies, and Thor 2 is the only Marvel movie I've never seen because I've heard it's terrible. And sometimes I'm like, should I see it? Probably not. It's bad. But I watched, like, the scenes where Loki just, like, keeps transforming into, like, random people, and then all of a sudden he turns into Captain America, and, like, I thought that was, like, pretty funny.
That was really funny. That was really funny.
That was pretty good, and I was like, maybe I could watch this movie just for that one scene at the end, but
that's just another of the examples of Chris Evans appearing in other movies as Captain America, where he was in Homecoming as the detention
That's the best
VHS
one.
tape.
The
that
best
was pretty
fucking
great.
one, because, like, Hannibal Buress, who's also fucking hilarious, is just like, anyways, I'm supposed to. The state says I got to show you guys this.
Pretty sure this guy's a war criminal now.
But whatever. I love Hannibal Buress so goddamn
Hannibal Buress
much.
looks like he's about to fall asleep every second of every day.
He really does.
I love it.
He looks like a scrunched up, like, pug. You know how like pugs have like the scrunched up face? He like has that, but like as a person.
Nah, pugs have like big eyes though. Handlebar has tiny eyes.
Pugs. I guess you're right.
He's like in Maz Kanata.
Pugs right now. Yes, the character.
Butthole eyes.
Butthole eyes. Maz Kanata. I'm not
so
like
fucking stupid.
I'm not like
I hated that in The Last Jedi. I hated a lot about it, but
I'm not a huge. I enjoy the recent Star Wars movies, but like her character has proven to be like pretty useless for the most part. Like in The Force Awakens, like it was fine. Like she obviously played a role, but then in The Last Jedi, she was just in a fucking hologram,
dude.
Like shooting
they
people.
FaceTimed her while she was throwing her little baby wrinkle body around with a jetpack.
Exactly.
Can you imagine Yoda using a fucking jetpack?
Exactly. Like the way this character operated in The Force Awakens
made sense. She was like a bartender or a bar owner.
Yeah, she was like this like lady that reigned this like ancient alien castle where everyone from all over the galaxy can like come and like take refuge or whatever. And then like that's cool. She's like wise and whatever, makes sense. And the second one, they just find her and she's like FaceTiming them while shooting a bunch of people. Like she's like an active like combatant now or something bizarre like that. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. But
she kind of reminded me of
she
when
she has crater eyes. It's like a big crater, and then at the bottom of the crater are her eyes.
She's got the lines that Thanos does on his chin, except they're all leading to her tiny butthole eyes.
Exactly.
Do you think...
all over her fucking face.
I've been thinking about this a lot because Solo, it's a great movie for me, but also there's tons of holes you could poke through it. But something I enjoyed the most was somebody said to me earlier, I don't remember, no, somebody did say to me, I saw it on Twitter at some point, somebody said like... do you think after Woody Harrelson kissed the DL-44, the gun that Han Solo uses, and then threw it to Han quietly said to himself, "I'm never washing this again"?
Yeah. They were gonna make a bunch of like other movies and stuff out of that, but
now they're not.
Now they're not.
They're making the Mandalorian,
which is probably for the best. Honestly, that shit looks
amazing.
Fucking amazing. It's like. Do you remember that game Star Wars 1313 that got showed and then never came out? It reminds me of that, like the criminal underworld of like the Star Wars universe, where we don't have to deal with like the kiddie shit of making sure, okay, well it can't be too violent or like too dark because like this is for all ages or whatever. And it finally feels like they're giving us this like little sliver of the universe where everyone's just like a huge fucking scumbag and is just trying to make money. And then, like, all this other shit is happening at the same time. And that's what I've always wanted to see. There's so many... Like, people talk about Star Wars fatigue. And I can, like, understand that to a certain extent.
This revitalized it for me.
Yeah. I can understand that because a lot of the time, a lot of the Star Wars stuff that's coming out can be samey. But Star Wars is so fucking huge. And you can do so much with it.
The problem I had with it was just so samey for so long. It's like, how are you getting... It's like... A giant fucking frame with 1 billion stars that have 800,000 planets orbiting them, and you're like, let's talk about the Skywalkers. Let's see what's going on with them.
Exactly.
Gang. And who cares?
Even in like the goddamn like spin-off movies like Rogue One and Solo, like those are cool.
Small.
I like those, but they fucking have to tie into like the bigger movies. You know what I mean? They're kind of like hampered by that. Whereas like with this new show, it takes place after Return of the Jedi and stuff, and deals with like, okay, the Empire's kind of gone now. What do we do? It deals with like there's these bounty hunters, and then there's the Imperial Remnant, which is the stuff from the extended universe that I think they're bringing back in, where obviously the Empire doesn't exist, but there's all these like fucking soldiers posted all over the galaxy. So there's these dudes in certain places that just turn into like fucking warlords and like run their shit in like a criminal underworld, and it's amazing. They got the guy from Breaking Bad who plays Gus Fring, the chicken
him.
dude.
They got Bill Burr. Bill Burr is in this,
which I was surprised. Really weird. I didn't know Bill Burr acted.
He didn't give a shit about Star Wars in the Conan interview I saw. He was just like, I was too fucking old for it. The first movie I saw was Scarface, and I was just like, that's really funny, Bill Burr. You're a funny guy. And then he said, like, fucking Star Wars. I don't know anything about this. I don't care about this. You guys care about this, obviously. Yeah. I cannot believe he's in this movie. Why isn't he in this movie?
Yeah,
it didn't make any sense to me.
Like, I didn't know he was like really an actor. I know he did like
movie series.
F is for Family and stuff. But I'm looking through his IMDb now, and he was like, he's like in a few things here and there. He's definitely not a stranger to it. But you know, obviously he's mostly famous these days for like his podcast and The Ringer, which is his. Does he do The Ringer? Is that his thing?
What? The Ringer?
Yeah, the website. Oh, that's Bill Simmons. Sorry, I got my white guys mixed up.
Bill Burr was also on Breaking Bad.
He was. Wait, who the fuck was he on Breaking Bad?
The last thing he sent on Twitter, everything I feel wrapped up into a thing. Why did they do this?
Oh, wait, what did I send you?
I wish we could talk about that kind of shit, but it would just come across as hateful.
Wait, I need to load up Twitter real quick.
It was the...
Don't,
no.
I mean,
we're not doing that.
We can talk about it from a constructive lens.
I don't want to be that person again, because it was like... so much just like being like, God damn it, this sucks, I hate it so much. We cannot even allude to what it is, or I will feel bad, Pena. Do not.
You don't want to... Well, we've talked about it on the podcast before.
Okay, we can say it's a Funhouse thing, and it's involved with Rooster Teeth, big production. It's basically skits again.
People know exactly like what it is then.
That's it. That's all the information I'm giving up. You're welcome to say whatever you want, as long as it's not me complaining.
I watched the pilot episode online, and I didn't get it. I think there's a lot of inside humor that I'm not aware of, maybe.
There's none.
And, okay, then I guess it just wasn't funny normally. I guess it just wasn't funny.
Do you mean because they call each other by their actual names?
Not that.
What?
I don't know. I just didn't think it was, like,
there was no
particularly great. It felt like it has that same problem where people from YouTube try to like jump up into like more serious production quality things like TV shows and movies and stuff, and it always just feels really bad.
That's not true though.
Like the quality isn't there because like, you know,
you're giving them an out that they don't they don't need. Like there have been production companies that have jumped up. Like Rooster Teeth is making Genlock and Ruby, which I've heard are great. I haven't watched them in a while, but they are capable of making great things. So like, you're looking around with your hands in the air like, what?
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna give them an out in that case then, but I just wasn't a huge fan.
What was the pilot of? Because I didn't watch the pilot. I watched the actual thing.
It was the same thing. The pilot is just the first episode.
So what is the first episode? What happens in the episode?
I really don't remember. Like, not
some stunning stuff.
I know it's like this is not. I mean, you could talk about it if you want to.
I don't remember which one was the first episode. They might have used a different one. I know it's a thing where they
is this something they're? Because I went on Reddit afterwards and I looked this up and because I wanted to find like threads criticizing this,
so you could be like vindicated.
But there were a bunch of people saying like, I hope this gets picked up, and I was like, picked up by who? Like, is this something they're making to like be distributed by like a actual network or something?
I don't know what they mean by picked up, but when Rooster Teeth has a pilot, Rooster Teeth has a pilot, or Funhouse has a pilot, it's like this is going to test the waters to see what people think of it. Like, what is the pilot that did? Fucking Sex Swing. The cartoon that they did.
That's the other one people
mentioned.
That
had a pilot, but that had I think a first season or a few episodes or something. Then it got canceled.
Yeah. Sex Swing. That was another thing I saw people mentioning on Reddit, and I didn't know what that was.
That's another...
Okay, I should not have done it without context.
Probably not, no.
10 best sex swings and how to use them. A sex swing guide.
There was that kind of reminds me of how... you remember Chris?
Yeah.
He would tell stories about the times they... There was one time he was telling me... He was talking with, like, Katie and, like, Jake and all at the round table of the gods that it was.
Guards.
And I was just sitting there, being scum. And they were talking about sex or something like that. And then Chris was like, yeah, I mean, this one time I went out in the lake and we swam out and then we had sex in the water. And I'm like, how do you... Because I hadn't had sex at the time. I was just very confused. And I didn't even watch porn. I was like that completely uninformed.
Really?
And he was just like, yeah, I don't actually really watch porn now. I mostly just look stuff up. But
I mean, that's porn then. If you're looking,
Okay, yeah.
what do you mean by
When I
looking
said
stuff
watch
up?
porn, I meant watch humans. Jesus Christ, what did I just say? I mean, like videos of people banging. I didn't do that.
Okay, so what do you mean by look stuff up?
I look stuff up.
Like just images?
See, what I do is I go on Rule 34 and then type in furries, and then I just.
Got you. Okay, so not moving images, but still images.
Most of the stuff I look up is pictures of Ronald Reagan and
he was very
American
handsome.
Flag.
He was an actor.
Old hot guy furry smut Reagan is what they called him. But can we get back to this?
Yeah.
Chris was like, we had sex in the water, and I was like, what the fuck? How do you do that? And it just showed how like sad it was because my voice cracked. I was like, how do you do that? And then Katie laughed, and I was just like, I'm garbage. I'm the worst. And then Chris was like, well, buddy, and he was just like my dad. It was like
put his arm over your shoulder.
He like did the thing where you reach across the table to sort of gesture at somebody and be like, so what you do is you wait for the rhythm of the waves to like instruct you. And I was just like, fuck, you're trying to maintain floating while like you have to tread water to float. Were you standing in the water? He's like, no, we were floating. And I was just like, what the fuck? And then Jake was just nodding. He's like, yeah, speaking gospel. And I'm like, what the fuck? What?
Now that
I'm gonna go back to furries. I don't understand.
Bring this up. Like Chris had this thing where he would say things and overshare, but most of the time, in retrospect, it was definitely bullshit. Most of the time,
I feel like it mostly was.
Like the whole like fucking to the
so
rhythm
cool,
away
like
thing
Chris.
while floating makes no sense.
It doesn't work in my head. Maybe one person you take turns treading, but then one person maybe they were both lifeguards, so they were trained to be able to.
Really fucking great.
I've done
at
that,
staying
and
afloat.
I cannot imagine like. There's this thing you do. You remember when you would do a spinal from the bottom of the deep end?
Yeah.
And you'd press their arms against their head and like spear them up to the top at an angle, so you
just
go
like fucking yeet them back to the surface.
You're trying to like stabilize their head so they don't fucking snap their neck in two again. And you get them up to the top. But even doing that, you're waiting till the 5 seconds later for someone to scoop a tube like underneath you. You cannot do that forever. And the two people are just, what do they just hold their breath? Like do they have buoyancy? I don't understand how that works. Maybe he was lying, but in my head, Chris is a god, so.
Like, he's such a weird dude. Like, I have him on a Snapchat. And,
do you actually?
Yeah, and he fucking works for the Secret Service.
Oh my god, what?
And he fucking
I thought he wanted to be a cop.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, like what his career path was, because I know he was studying for like the cop exam, so I don't know how he ended up in Secret Service, because that seems like way more advanced than just being like a regular cop, but whatever, good for him.
People can't like go on Facebook and search up your name and then find out where this person is, right?
Well, that's the thing. On Snapchat, he'll constantly post while he's on the job. He'll literally be like, take a photo outside of Trump Tower and be like, work for the day. And I'm like, can you do that?
I mean, yes.
That's definitely not allowed.
If you're going to pick a presidency to do that shit, this is the one to do it.
But like, I have no idea. This is definitely not allowed under Secret Service, where you can just constantly like give away like the president's location. Or I don't know, maybe he's not detailed to the president, maybe he's detailed to like the president's family members or something, but like still, it's definitely against, I feel like, every fucking common sense security rule in the book.
Is protecting the president. Chris!
I think about this all the fucking time.
He's jacked. He's this barrel-chested, like, tall dude, like, short haircut is all I can think about. Like, the aviator sunglasses, the cool little stride that he'd do. He would hit on all the moms. And then I remember because there were brown recluses, like, in the Lost and Found because they love, like, wet, humid places. And he found them, and he made me get them on. He's protecting the president, and he's scared of spiders. I don't know if he's scared of spiders.
Oh my god, that man, he's a fucking character. But you know who else was like,
he's a bloody legend, bro.
You know who else was a fucking character? Was Jake, who was like
awesome.
The second in command. Jake was really cool. Jake. I would like to hang out with him now because I feel like we would like, because when like we hung out then, obviously I was like a baby like you, and I was like afraid of everything in the world. And now I feel like I would get along with Jake a lot better. But the one thing that never made sense to me is that apparently like Jake, who he's like, I don't know. I guess I don't think he's like attractive, but I guess I'm wrong in this sense.
He's a
like,
handsome man.
He's got a good body, I guess. It's like thin but like fit.
He's got a square jaw and nice hair.
His hair was insanely long. That was like kind of his thing. But like he rocked it with such confidence. The dude had like more confidence than anyone I've ever fucking met in my life.
I'm not sure confidence is the word I would use. He just didn't care. He was just smooth as fuck.
Yeah.
He was smooth as fucking butter on a pre-greased pan.
Exactly.
He was so fucking smooth.
It's not that he cared in like a cynical way either. I think smooth is definitely a better word because like he was still like happy and like, would, happy to talk to anyone and like treat them like nicely and whatever.
Oh yeah, he was a gentle giant.
Exactly. But him and Katie, who was like basically if like Wonder Woman was a person, like so like 6 foot like 3.
Amazon, yeah.
Exactly.
Did it ever come across to you that we might be? You ever seen American Gods?
Oh, the fucking show? No, I haven't seen it.
You know who Dionysus is? The god of wine and grapes? I feel like that was Jake.
I know from like Percy Jackson.
And then Aphrodite was Katie. And then Chris was like Ares.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would have been. A fucking like the gremlin that clutches the cider. I would be one of Hades' 2 little goblins that had to kill Hercules.
And Hercules. I just fucking rewatched that movie like last week.
You're the god of Chipotle and stealing food from other people.
Exactly. But like they would fuck in the pump room.
That's what they said.
They would pump in the pump room on the reg.
It says everything that I wouldn't have known if they didn't tell me about it so much. And it wasn't like even that interesting to me. I was like, cool.
They didn't tell
Jake.
I mean, they didn't share that detail with me. I heard it from like other people.
No. I heard that from both of them.
Really? I think I heard it from Katie.
Katie would also talk about how they would wait till the pool was closed and then go in at the water. And I was like, more water? Like, how do you guys do this?
Everyone's fucking in the water these days. There was actually like
board.
There was like a rainy day at the pool, and it was like me, Chris,
so
and do you remember Maria?
No.
She like was like a sub, like only worked there I think 1 year. She was like Asian, but it was me, Chris, and Maria. And it was a rainy day, so there's no one at the pool. But then, like, this one couple comes in. They're, like, I want to say early 20s, maybe late teens. And they're, like, babysitting this kid who, I don't know, maybe assume is the girl's, like, little sister or something. And they let the kid go off the diving board, whatever. And I'm watching the kid go off the diving board. And they're off, like, towards, the ladder directly across from the diving board.
Yep.
They're, like, in that corner. And they're fucking like basically fucking. The dude is going, and like me and Chris is also watching this from like his end because like he wants to make sure everything's...
Did he have binoculars out?
Yeah, literally I think he did pull out binoculars. Like the
was
dude
he like pointed like one of those dogs that points at bombs? He was like
but what this dude would do is he'd like submerge like under her, and I would like watch this girl's expression, and she would like obviously make expressions of pleasure or whatever. And then Chris comes up to me and he's like, hey man, you seeing what I'm seeing?
Dude, his instinct wasn't to go and stop this as the pool manager. He was like, hey Alex, you want to see something fucking cool?
No, it wasn't like that. It was like, he's like, we gotta put a stop to this.
Gotta put a stop to this?
Yeah, he's like, if they do it again, like blow the whistle at them. And I was like, I'm not comfortable doing that. Like really? Me, like a 15 like idiot, 15-year-old idiot blowing against like.
Now I would have fucking had a field day. Are you kidding? That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I would get to say to someone, please stop having sex.
I would pull out the megaphone, which we never do for any reason, and just be like,
I'd
stop having sex.
Chris is still in the pointer position with his binoculars, waiting to see what I'll do. I'm like the bomb drone for him.
That's the one instance of like people actively like fornicating at the pool, which is weird because I've never understood like fucking in the water. It just like doesn't seem like you can get enough traction if you're underwater. That's just me. I don't know. But I don't know if you have a different experience you want to speak to. But
traction in water?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never done that in the water, no.
Okay. It also just seems like it's a, infection risk. There's a lot of shit in the water, especially if you work at a pool.
Yeah, they talk about like microbes that'll go up your nose in like freshwater lakes and streams where it'll just like eat your brain.
Exactly. I mean, that's just a reason not to ever get in a lake ever, but especially not the fucking one where you're actively like.
I don't like water
yourself.
that I can't see through.
That, yeah. I was the same way when I was a kid, especially when, going to the beach and stuff. I was like worried that there was like fucking monsters I can't see through like the cloudy waters because I was like really into sharks at the time, and I knew that
sharks.
Yeah, I knew there were a lot of sharks where we were going.
That was Go ahead.
I knew there were a lot of sharks technically in the region where we were going to, but like sharks never go to like, popular beaches because it's so fucking crowded and busy that it disrupts their thing. And also it's too shallow. But I was still a fucking like scared kid, and I was like, if I even felt like one thing brushed my leg, I darted out of the water, just fucking running.
Dude, that was like entirely what I think my dad told me a story once where it was the year Jaws came out, and they went to Myrtle Beach, his whole family.
Yep.
And I remember him telling me he sat on the edge of like the grass where the sand started and just sat there the entire time because his dad like was angry with him and he would not have him just in the house alone. So he had to have him like sit technically on the beach. And he was like, technically dad, I'm on the beach. That was a lot of our fucking sections at the pool though. It was like, if you had to kill a shark, how would you do it? It was like 20 minutes of silence and then just like, Chris was like looking like very introspectively, and I'm like, "Is he thinking about college or something?" And then he's like, "You had to fuck a shark. How would you do it?"
As much as I like think back and like think the pool was like a very boring job, like definitely like had its moments of, there was definitely characters. What I liked about working at the pool is that most of the people that worked there weren't boring. Like everyone like had a role, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And even, like, the more normal, like, boring people, like, kind of, like, bounced off of others. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I feel like it would make for, like, a good, like, fucking, like, sitcom cast or something. Then there was, like, a few people, like, in the last year that I, like, really hated. Just because of how dumb they were. What
was the name of the black-haired kid? Were you there that year?
The black-haired kid?
I don't remember.
Who was manager? Was it David?
Yeah. The young, tan, black-haired kid, skinny kid. David Thomas, or he ended up making out. You remember when he was making out with the guy that you were sitting in the stand? Not the guy, the girl.
Oh, dude, yeah, Julik.
Julik.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we can't say his last name.
Yeah, dude, we were fucking we would always like talk and stuff. That was like the
I think you liked him for some reason.
I liked him because I also knew him because his siblings, I went to like high school and like middle school with them.
You also lived in the same area, I think, right?
Yeah. So I like kind of like knew of his existence previously. But he was cool. He was a lot younger than us. So I would always like...
Yeah, he was like 17.
Yeah, I'd always like give him shit for like trying to fuck this like one girl at the pool.
He was... Dude.
He was a dog.
It was like Jesus, like... There was one girl who like skateboarded to the pool or something like that.
Oh, Caroline. Yep.
No, another girl. There was another skateboarder.
Oh, okay.
Caroline did do that. I don't remember her hair color, but
okay.
She showed up and then like hit it off with Julik, and then they ended up like schmoozing all the way into the deep end, and then sort of hiding under the little crest and just making out. And you were sitting in the stand just staring at them.
Yes.
Just like, you're not hiding, Julik.
I was literally like, John.
And David was like a disappointed dad. He was just like,
yeah. God. David would always get so upset. He'd be like, he's got to stop making out while he's on the job. And I'm like, I know, but also this is really funny. Oh my god, I miss David. God, last time I talked to him, he like had moved to like some beach town.
Of course,
like,
he did.
Chilling. Yeah.
David looks like he worked like, you ever see those pictures of the production of Star Wars when they're in Tunisia and they're in the desert, and then there's the guy with the boom mic who has the boots and the shorts and no shirt on? That is David to me. As a tan dude from the 1970s wearing aviators and a bowl haircut.
That is David. He was like the chillest dude like in existence.
Yep.
It was great.
And then they started like a coup against him.
Yeah, fucking like,
don't say her name. And you can say Religion. That's her name.
Religion?
Yeah.
It was like a few girls on staff, I think, that like didn't like him
because it just happened to be that they were doing the least, like the most like fucked up shit, or like the fucked up shit, like they were doing things wrong or just on their phones, or like did the same thing, I did the same thing, but it was always like when we were in a group, it was like me and Julik, and when they were in a group, it was the girls like just sitting at the table. So he just, I guess, associated them with slacking off. So he would give them a hard time when they were doing nothing right, but he wasn't an asshole to them, and they treated it like he was Mussolini. It was like ridiculous.
Exactly.
Tried to fucking start a coup.
Yeah, like fucking. I'm trying to come up with code names for everyone that are easy to.
Maybe we're like. I don't want to accuse David of anything. Maybe we're just like being too not PC. What's the word? We're being racist to the women.
What? No, he wasn't.
I'm trying to think of the word. Maybe we're just like
sexist.
Yeah. We're like completely.
I don't think he was being.
Maybe it was going on and we didn't know.
I mean,
ever think of that? This is a very non-progressive conversation.
I was just thinking about that in my head, but like I don't really think that's possible because David was like David was not that type of dude, really and the people who had an issue with him, the people that had an issue with him were also like the worst people.
Yes, they were.
So like I don't take anything they say at like face value, and it wasn't ever complaints of like harassment.
Like it's just the girls. You guys, you're always picking on us girls, except it was mostly just the one.
Yeah, it was mostly just the one that like particularly sucks.
Yeah.
Who isn't the brightest bulb.
David couldn't have been a better person at any job, I don't think. He was just like the best. He was really nice. He, yeah.
I was like bummed when like, Chris and like Kitty and them like all left for good. But then like David came in and I was like pleasantly surprised. It was like this whole new era. It was like going from Justice League to like Justice League Unlimited. Like, it was, you thought,
a whole new opportunity.
Yep. It was great. Nothing actually, it was a lovely new chapter.
Have you ever thought about how this is a completely different subject? X-Men? Professor X?
Yeah, I know. I think I know that guy.
The name of his school is Charles Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters, which makes him sound like a cowboy, but he's a bald British man in a wheelchair, and it always confused me. I guess it's from like 19 fucking.
Youngsters is definitely like a British thing as well.
School for Gifted Youngsters.
Is it? I feel like hasn't the name of the school changed over?
Yeah.
Like the exact wording of it.
Aurora Monroe's School for Gifted Youngsters, Jean Grey's School for Gifted Youngsters, Scott Summers' School for Gifted Youngsters.
No. It's like Xavier's. Oh yeah, Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters.
I'm not sure Gifted Youngsters has ever changed.
I think in the movies they just called it.
Nope.
Xavier's School for the Gifted or something.
They say youngsters on the fence.
Really?
Yeah.
What a stupid. Well, I don't know. That's kind of dated. This fucking thing is from the 60s, so I guess that thing is like kind of carried over.
Malcolm X and Martin Luther King era.
Wait, there's a School for the Gifted website.
Do you think they're like the pedophile ring, like religious people from Deadpool 2?
If you didn't know any better, I would definitely assume this is some sort of like cult thing.
Do you know better?
I think I do. I like to think of myself as a pretty smart. This website, the schoolforthegifted.com, is just an X-Men Apocalypse promotional site.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it doing its job?
Watch it now on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD.
It's $2. Please, for the love of God, buy this movie.
This is no ordinary school because you are no ordinary student. Enroll me in Xavier's School now and send me information about X-Men films. You can sign up via email.
Ooh.
There's like
some sweet perks.
It's like a newsletter. I'd like to know what the last newsletter that went out was because I doubt there's been much movement on that front.
Please help us. Disney's buying everything.
Please. You're the last line of defense. I wanted to ask you about...
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. It seemed like you were excited about whatever you wanted to say.
The time that Charles took like heroin to cure his spinal injury, and then it also took his powers.
Oh yeah,
that was a weird linchpin.
Those movies were weird.
Days of Future Past. That movie's awesome, but that is a weird part.
X-Men is the most inconsistent movie franchise I think I've ever seen. It goes from being like really good or like really bad. Like X-Men 1.
I almost want to say Star Wars, but at least it makes a little sense.
Star Wars is really complicated. Because it is like somewhat inconsistent, but I feel like it's closer to like a baseline average of like decency. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like nobody would be that confused if they just paid attention.
Exactly. But like whereas X-Men, X-Men, not only quality-wise is all over the place, the story is all over the place because there's like 2 separate timelines, and if you think about it too hard, they like don't make sense at all. Oh yeah, dude, the modern timeline and then the
I
new.
thought you meant like dimensions.
No. Well, they might technically be dimensions. I literally watched like a fucking explainer video on this, and it still didn't make sense. But like X-Men 1,
breaking up a lot.
I am. That's a bummer. I'm gonna close some tabs. Let's see if that works. How about now?
I can see your face, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay.
You're now doing this weird fucking walk like an Egyptian, head back and forth thing.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Barely.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk. You shut up. Fucking.
I'm not editing this, so.
There was the moment in Deadpool 2 when Wade is like moping about the mansion, and Colossus is angry with him, and he's like, "Where the fuck is everybody? I'm Ryan Reynolds. My voice is like this." But he was like, where's the rest of the X-Men? Where's Professor X? I never see anybody. I feel like we have the budget now to get these people in here. And then it pans to like a 2-shot where it's like, or a 2-person on either side shot, and then you can see across from them is everybody like Jean Grey, Storm, Cyclops, not Wolverine obviously, but Professor X, and they're all just sitting there like, oh, and then they close the door. It was just like that was cool. Like that, I think that says to me that they're pretty much shit canning Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen's X-Men, and they're just going with the new kids.
Exactly. Well, they absolutely are, because that's what Days of Future Past was about. And but now that Dark Phoenix is going to be like the last movie.
God, I hope it's good.
I don't think it will be. I think it'll be better than Apocalypse, but like probably not great. And then that'll cap off that entire like Fox X-Men generation world, which like I feel like more people should be sad about, but at the same time, there's not much to really mourn because they kind of sucked after Logan. Logan was like literally the best movie they ever did, besides
one of the best superhero movies ever made.
One of the best superheroes ever made, flat out. And Deadpool is like also good, like going off on a high note there. But as far as just like the regular X-Men, like that kind of like teetered off really fucking fast as of after Days of Future Past. So it's whatever. I just want to see Wolverine hang out with Iron Man and Thor and Spider-Man and have a team up and do Avengers Secret Wars. I feel like that's going to be the next one, actually. It's going to be the next big event. Pat, I wanted to ask you about your thoughts on... we talked about this last time we attempted to record the podcast, but it didn't work out. So... I wanted to get your thoughts on the Hawkeye TV series that is being made.
Oh yeah. I think he's Hawkeye. They tried to make me a weapon, or like there's some comic series where he is down and out, just like hanging out in Manhattan, and it's awesome. And he temporarily goes deaf again, and then his brother comes back and then starts signing to him. It was really really cool. If they do something like that, I'm all for it. But if they try to make it all like CSI and stupid.
There's from the synopsis I read, it's apparently going to be about him training his daughter, Kate Bishop, to take over the mantle.
I thought his whole thing was like trying to protect his family from the life of a superhero.
Well, based off of depending on how Endgame goes and whatever, something like that might change, and he's like, well, I better train her to like protect herself or something because I'm not going to be around forever.
I'm going to train you to protect yourself, but you better not fucking become a crime fighter, I swear to God. Okay.
So yeah, and I think a lot of people started getting to the discussion of, are they going to start doing a Young Avengers thing, which I'm not super familiar with. I don't know if you are.
Young Avengers? I know that it's somehow connected to the Ultimates. I know that Carol Danvers picks people from there. There's a lot of like kids of people have gone in the roster, people from different dimensions, time displaced people.
Yeah, it's like minor league Avengers. The tickets
like Teen Titans.
Yeah, except Teen Titans is bad. So fucking good, and Young Avengers is maybe
apparently Doom Patrol is really really good.
Which I don't understand. Like I actually saw this on like people talking about this on Twitter. Like all the shows on the DC streaming service or whatever are actually really fucking good. For some reason?
Well, I mean, Young Justice...
Oh yeah, you said you gave up on that.
Yeah, it got
Which is
boring.
surprisingly that seems to be the weakest link. Titans and Doom Patrol are looking good.
People, I've watched clips of Titans, and they've got a bajillion views each, so it says everything. I mean, that's based on the fact that, like, the title say, like, Batman kills all the people in the GCPD.
Fuck Batman.
So apparently the Batman in Titans is like a murderer. He's like snapped.
Yeah, they got they just casted the dude who plays Jorah in Game of Thrones as Batman.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know. So I don't know how that is going to work
Titans
out.
now. I don't want to watch Titans.
Hey, it might be good. You never know. It can't be worse.
How's he gonna do a fucking English accent? Or he would make a great Alfred. You know what?
He would. He does strike me more as like an Alfred type. I don't know why he's like a Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, I imagine, is like this like rich, like kind of like big build kind of guy with like jet black hair. John Hamm. Yeah.
I always thought he was
like a fan casting. Mm-hmm. I know what you mean. Well, Jake Gyllenhaal is apparently going to be the next Batman. That's like the rumor.
But he's Mysterio, Pena. He can't be in both. He's
can't cross
Mysterio
over
forever. He's never going to be in another Marvel movie.
I wonder what the policy is for those actors. You know, like
I assume they signed a clause.
But there's like a few instances of actors like kind of hopping over and stuff. Like
there was Thanos and Cable.
Well, that one is a little different because that's like Fox Marvel and then like Marvel Studios. And also he plays like a CGI character, so
that's
it's kind
what
of
I was
like
gonna
different.
say. Yeah, like it's bears like not his face so much as like his image.
Yeah, but the voices you can tell are pretty similar. Like I feel like anyone really.
Yeah, Thanos does not sound anything like Cable. Besides the fact that it's Josh Brolin playing him, and you can test and see like, oh yes, this is the same person. They sound much different.
They do put Josh Brolin's face into Thanos quite a bit, I think. Like you can kind of see it and see Josh Brolin's like likeness.
Josh Brolin already kind of looks like Thanos. He's a big lumbering caveman.
That's true. But you know what's weird? I just rewatched Guardians of the Galaxy last weekend because I was showing Kalina, and they show him at the end there.
It looks so ridiculous.
He looks so different and like weird. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like in Infinity War, he looks great. He looks phenomenal. His face is like a little longer. The like chin thing is a little more subtle. But in Guardians and especially in Avengers, his face is a lot like rounder, like a lot more square, and his eyes are like huge, and like the chin things are fucking like jetting out like fucking fins from his face. It's weird. Like I'm not a huge fan of that look, so I'm glad they like changed it, even if it's not, for consistency's sake, it's pretty different. But
I'm also glad that, I mean, obviously he wouldn't have needed the armor because he has the stones to protect himself, but I'm glad that they went without the armor because he's such a visually striking character. Like, why would you cover that up? And the armor looks cool, but like, fuck, take it off.
It does.
Take it all off, Thanos.
They did show him with like, I like that they gave peeks of like him in the armor, like in the flashbacks and stuff like that. I think that was a good way to like, show off that look, even though you didn't want to have it the entire time.
Did you think
he also had it on
Switchblade was weird?
You thought that scene was weird?
The knife, yeah. It was like, for some reason in my head, obviously they have wonderful technology all over the place in that world, but it was strange to me that they had just what looks like a fucking Etsy like pocket knife that he bought on Amazon. It looked super weird. I mean, it was really pretty, but it was just like, what the fuck?
I mean, I think like if we're talking like in-universe reasons, I think they still value like craftsmanship and things like that. So I was fine with that.
No, but it was weird to me that Thanos would have that. Why did he have that?
Oh, I'm sure it's like a sentimental thing for him. I don't think
what is
he's
it
like
sentimental for? No.
We don't know.
Before he gives it to Gamora, why does he have that?
I'm sure it carries some sentiment from beforehand or something like that. Or maybe he was like literally going through some gift shop one day. The fucking seller is just like, "Hey man, look at this cool switchblade, like perfectly balanced, right?" And he's like, "I know what I must do."
Yeah, I'm gonna use this to kill half your family.
This is it. He goes around to every planet in the universe and stabs him to death with his like gift shop knife.
before he knew perfectly how to do it, he dropped it a few times, so he looked like really stupid crouching down. He does look like a really jacked Grimace, though. When Peter Quill makes those jokes, it's really funny.
I wonder if he can like spin it on his finger, like
that's what he does with his free time. He goes on that farm. We could talk about Endgame. I forgot about that.
That is coming out this Thursday, and I'm gonna go see it in 5 days.
Oh my god! Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait.
Yeah, I think you could. You can probably get tickets.
No,
it's
it doesn't matter
easier.
for tickets. I don't want to be in day one audiences.
Really?
Fuck that.
I mean, okay.
I did that for Force Awakens, and people would not shut the fuck up.
See, I like the excitement in the theater like that.
Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding? You really like people screaming over the fucking movie that you're waiting to see?
Sometimes it can be annoying, but it's cool when there's like big moments and everyone like reacts together. I like enjoy that experience. I know other people don't and just want absolute silence. That's fine. For certain movies, I definitely prefer silence. But if it's something like a big blockbuster like this, when it's just like more like pure entertainment, I'm fine with like the audience like, you know, laughing or like cheering, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I kind of enjoy that. But it's fine, totally understandable if you obviously don't enjoy that. You could go see it probably like Sunday morning, like on a matinee or whatever.
If there was, there's the whole thing like if you spend your money where you spend your time, and movies and video games and maybe a few other things are really my passions, and I'm totally fine shelling out. I would pay $60 to go to a theater where it is maybe 10 seats, all those big leather sofa chairs.
Oof,
and there was a big, you know, no rule of like shut the fuck up. They give you gags, like ball gags, like a fucking pool cue. Go to sleep if you want to make noise in your dreams or something like that. Go home, take your kids home, and shut the fuck up.
You know what? Actually, you ever heard of the Alamo Drafthouse?
Yeah, in Texas.
Yeah, well, actually, it's not just in Texas. It's a theater chain that is like has just like a few theaters like all across the country, and yeah, they do food and like drinks and stuff. It's really cool. I haven't been, but I've heard it's cool. But they also have very strict rules in the theaters, like no phone, no noise, no kids, like all this stuff. It's awesome.
Qualify as?
Yeah, stuff like that, or if like your kid is crying, like, you know, they will not hesitate to like kick you out. Yeah, they'll punt the kid out the door.
They'll throw like a pizza pan as like a frisbee and like cut it in half.
Yeah,
perfectly balanced.
They'll stuff them in a bag and put them in like the trunk of a car and like drive like 50 miles away.
They'll grab him by the leg and just smash him up against the wall like the Romans.
Yeah, but there's one out in like Dulles in like Ashburn, like Loudoun County or whatever. Yeah, I mean like that's a far drive, but like if you're like willing to do that,
sure,
and if they have
Alamo,
tickets,
if there's only one, that's already snatched up every ticket, right?
Probably still worth looking into.
Endgame. This is the Endgame.
Yeah. I mean, this movie, wouldn't be surprised if this movie ends up being like the highest grossing movie of all time. I hope it does, because Avatar doesn't deserve that title at all.
Shut up.
Fuck you.
Obviously, I would agree that of the two, I would probably want to see Endgame.
Yes. But yeah, just
What's
literally.
wrong with Hawkeye's hair?
I don't know why.
He's got a mullet.
He looks
like Daryl Dixon.
He did the thing you did, except he went to the barber and is like, yeah, shear everything off except this exact middle row that runs down from my spine to my eyebrows.
I have the backs and the sides shaved, and he's got this fucking skunk tail.
Yeah,
he looks like he should be making meth or something. And he's also got a sleeve of tattoos.
Exactly.
Did his wife like leave a clause in his marriage that was just like, you cannot get tattoos or a mullet so long as I'm alive? And like she and the kids died. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get a samurai sword and I'm gonna go to Japan and I'm gonna be a ninja. Where's my fucking straight razor?
That's all I'm fucking waiting for.
If Natasha Romanoff shows up with long hair and a ponytail and tries to get me to become Hawkeye again, I'm gonna cut her in half.
But if you want to see the movie earlier, because I feel like no matter how much you wait, you're gonna run into like a decent sized audience.
Fair enough.
So the best thing to
I'm
do.
also gonna run into spoilers if I wait too long.
Exactly. I literally waited like just the weekend for Infinity War and had like a couple things spoiled for me.
How much tickets are?
I mean, tickets are the same as any other movie. Like they're not charging a premium.
Are you sure? Because I've gotten different prices for different movies before.
Well, it depends if you're seeing it like an IMAX, if you're seeing it
but like,
in 3D.
it's like a matinee, and it's like $13.28 and $16 something.
Well, still, that's like within like my acceptable range, I guess.
I saw
like
Hellboy.
Oh, well, I don't think I would pay to see that movie.
Neither did I.
Yeah. Just literally go see Endgame like Sunday morning, 8 a.m. No one will be there.
Wow. Why is there 2 options for Shazam? I mean, Endgame. Opening night fan event. Whoa.
Yeah, I saw tickets for that, but
these are all sold out.
Yeah, I don't know what the fan event includes.
Not sure. It's pre-order, by the way.
I think you like get a goodie bag. I think they also maybe are playing Infinity War beforehand.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Oh, in addition to seeing the film 1 hour early, fans attending will receive a collectible coin and be given a special event-only concession offer.
It's called a penny, and it'll be given to you in your
So you get a limited... Oh, yeah, I'm looking at the coin. I mean, that's cool, but, like, who cares? And then you get, like, what, a free bag of popcorn in the shape of, like, Thor's face? I don't know.
I think you were going to say Thor's dick. Just trust us. This is Thor's dick.
No, that's the drink. Don't worry.
Did you like how I don't give a shit the look that Captain Marvel gives Thor when he tries to like test her and like fucking mad dogs her the entire time?
Their sexual energy is off the fucking charts.
No, it's not at all.
Dude, are you serious?
Dude, someone said this on Twitter and I want it to be a thing so desperately. I want Valkyrie. There was somebody on Twitter was just like the sexual tension between Thor and Captain Marvel is palatable in the new Avengers trailer. And someone says, "You idiot, you absolute buffoon. He's trying to get a date for Valkyrie." And I'm like, yes! Oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
You're right. They're actually, Tessa Thompson and Brie Larson are actually friends in real life, so
they'd be
sure.
kissy friends in a movie.
I hope so. You know what? It would honestly make more sense for Captain Marvel to be gay than for her to be straight, I feel like.
What does that mean?
Just because like her whole thing is like...
Just because she's a strong woman?
Yeah, her whole thing is that like men are...
Shit.
I love being a sexist garbage person.
I love being a sexist garbage person. The guy who takes the trash to the street. God, I love being a sexist. He like refuses to take the trash from women's houses.
Yeah.
If he sees 2 women come out and they kiss, he's like, ugh! And then he like drags this fucking throws the trash all over the place. Yeah, I love being a sexist garbage person.
Oh,
looks like 8:30 is done. No, that's for 3D. 6 p.m. 7. Wow, this is actually surprisingly not sold out.
Yeah, like the suburb movie theaters, I feel like are still good.
RPX is sold out. That's actually surprising. What's RPX?
It's like Regal's version of IMAX, which if
Do they have big seats?
It's not recliners, but they're comfy leather seats, and the screen is fucking huge. I enjoy it. It's not really worth the money all the time, but for like a big event movie like Endgame, I would say it's definitely worth it.
What kind of tickets did you get?
I just got regular.
Oh.
It was like the only thing that worked out like time wise, because it was either like I get the IMAX one, but it's IMAX 3D, and I don't like 3D at all, so I was like, whatever.
AMC.
I'll just see it regularly.
I want to go to like one of those comfy chairs.
Dude, I was trying to fucking... So I'm gonna go see Shazam tonight because you love it so much, and like I wanted to see it for a while.
You're gonna hate it, and I'm gonna not care.
I'm sure I'm gonna love it. I'm sure I'm gonna think it's great. Like, but I was trying to go to the theater with the comfy chairs around here with the recliners, and that's the one movie they're showing that they don't have recliner seats for. They're literally showing everything else in recliner seats. They're showing Captain Marvel, and it's like fucking 6th week in recliner seats.
That movie was not good.
I enjoyed Captain Marvel, but it's fine. You like the other Captain Marvel?
No, I did like Sam Jackson's bits.
He's great.
Him and Brie Larson together worked really well.
Yeah.
I want to see a buddy cop movie where it's just the done.
I do think that the Captain Marvel did her character a disservice. I think they like really like the script kind of didn't characterize her enough. Like
I
it didn't.
Sort of Carol Danvers is just like someone who would speak in like military all the time. Like if someone was walking up behind you and just trying to get like through some crowd, she would say, "Oh, someone's on your 6." It's like, "Oh, she's in the military. I know that about you." I just didn't get enough of like the "I am in the military,"
Well, I think in the thing in the comics apparently is that she's also not terribly interesting as a character, which is a real shame. So,
which is why they make her a villain a lot.
Yeah, well, in Civil War too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
and when she's on the Ultimates,
I think she'll be better in Endgame because I think the issue with Captain Marvel is really just its script and the directors who don't really know what they're doing, seemingly, because Marvel likes to pick out like random indie filmmakers and just give them like $100 million to make a movie. So I think Endgame will be better. She already looks like vastly different as well. Like her look has kind of been upgraded. So we'll see what fucking happens.
I didn't like her fucking outfit either. It looks like it reminded me so much of a CW like outfit. Like it looked plastic or leather or something.
It did look quite a bit leathery. I did get those vibes.
Like Arrow would be meeting her and she'd be like, "Sup, everybody."
But the one in Endgame already looks better.
Is there
like,
a new
significantly? One? Yeah, there is a new one.
The white suit.
I don't think it's white. It's just like a slightly different like color pattern. It's still like red, blue, and yellow, but you can noticeably tell it's different because of the shoulders. It's at the end. It's like at the mid. Did you see the after credits thing or whatever?
I tried so desperately. I was trying to be on Yaman's team about this and not watch anything, but I would definitely have watched every trailer
for Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. I don't like. I get the argument that, and this is Yaman's argument that I'm already gonna go see it. I don't need to see every trailer. And I'm like,
he didn't want to be spoiled.
True, but I know that the marketing team is smart enough not to spoil anything. I just like to watch trailers because they're exciting and cool, and I like to get every little bit that I can before I see the movie. Mm-hmm. So, who gives a shit? Doesn't really matter.
But that can shoot you in the foot sometimes. I remember a few movies that I've seen that I pushed too hard to find some interesting things, and then I think like for you were not like you were trying to get spoiled, but you on Twitter for Infinity War, you saw like a tweet that was like Peter Parker dies or something like that.
No, it wasn't that. I was like just Googling something related to Spider-Man, just like completely off topic.
I remember we ate
and then Google autocomplete. Yeah, I know. Google autocomplete just said, "Why does Spider-Man die in Infinity War?" I'm like, that's not fucking. I didn't need. I was fucking spoiled by Google autocomplete. It was the most infuriating thing in the world. I'd been so careful to avoid spoilers all weekend. Like literally, I muted every member of the Avengers on Twitter. I was fine on that front. Wasn't watching anything, and then I was just Googling something for fun. I don't know what it was. Maybe the Spider-Man PS4 game.
With that.
No, who would have thought that Google autocomplete is the fucking spoiler? I was so pissed. But like it wasn't.
It's just cutting in and out of you angrily explaining why.
Whatever.
Your connection is so bad.
I don't know why. I think my roommate is watching
you want to do
furry stuff.
B-mails? I've been deleting a lot of them.
Really?
There were a long number of long ones.
It's okay. We still have like a decent amount.
I didn't finish, so we might lose some more.
You'll like this one. This is from Brianna. On the subject of furries and Zootopia, you guys were talking about that dude that said furries hated Zootopia because it, quote, baited us by sexualizing the animals or some bullshit. That's not true at all, and he's a fucking idiot. Like, holy shit. Zootopia is well beloved in the furry fandom, and anyone that considers bestiality or zoophilia is shunned and rather aggressively taken care of. Also, I need some advice. My girlfriend broke up with me on Friday, and it hurts a lot. Never handled this show well, and I'd like to see what you boys think. Brianna, thank you. As for the breakup advice, I would say go outside, hang out with your friends, buy yourself a new video game if you're into that, buy yourself something nice, and, time heals all wounds. Go get your favorite fucking food. You like Chipotle? Go get Chipotle. And work out. Working out is good, too.
I don't have any advice, and I don't want to pretend like I have experience in that realm.
Just keep yourself distracted is like the...
I just know that, in terms of self-love and stuff like that, exercise, like he said, find your nearest, this isn't universal, but I like going to Lake Agatank, which is this huge lake and a trail around there, and I give myself a good walk around there wearing weighted stuff, so it feels like I'm tired.
Yep.
Don't shun yourself away, though.
Yeah.
Talk to people.
This next one is from Alex. Sup, dudes? It's your friendly neighborhood fat kid. Anyways, did you guys see they might be revamping The Office? Personally, I think it was perfect how it is. The last thing I want to ask if you guys would ever play games with fans. Okay, here's my dog. Her name is Stella, and she's scared of her own farts. That's cute. It's a cute dog. They don't need to revamp The Office, make a new show. No one cares. Would we ever play games with fans? Probably not. TBH. We have very different schedules, and it's tough enough as it is to coordinate recording this podcast. So coordinating a fan gaming event would be even more difficult, and I feel like not something we would be able to pull off in a good enough way to satisfy people. So yeah. Let's see. This next one is from Sabrina. There's a lot of pictures in here. What is this? Look at these cute dogs. Jeez. Hey guys. My name is Sabrina. Just want to say thank you for being so consistent with the podcast. I like to listen to them when I'm working on ceramics. I'm an art ed major. I included pictures of my dogs, Stinker and Posse. Also, I go to school in Buffalo, and look at this big icicle I found. Also, I made an outfit of tea for a project. Also, my improv comedy group recently won a competition. I'll stop now. Thank you for being awesome. There's no question in this email. I like how you say thank you for being consistent with the podcast, because we're definitely been less consistent lately. But, it's fine. Thanks for listening.
People get busy.
Exactly. Life is hard, and I'm about to graduate, so it makes things even more complicated. This
Which
fucking
one?
outfit. I'm on the one by Sabrina. Look at the picture of her in an outfit made of tea bags. That one's pretty dope. I like that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a lot of tea.
And that's the tea. That icicle is also
Shut the fuck
fucking huge.
This one's from Speak English, Patrick. McKaylee Miller. Hey dudes, I'm upset. I forgot that the contract for the variety show at school was due yesterday, and the drama teacher wouldn't let me turn it in, and it would be fine with that, and I would be fine with that if I didn't know that one of her favorites wanted to turn theirs in late. She'd let them. It's so fucking unfair because I had the best vocals out of everyone who auditioned. Her words. And I was so excited because I really liked the theme. I was sad at first, but now I'm just mad. Okay, bye, love y'all. That fucking sucks.
Let this be a lesson to you that the meritocracy is bullshit and does not exist. It's all about who you know. Meritocracy just means, like, even if you're good enough at something, the system can still put you down for unfair bullshit reasons. It's kind of like your dad gets you, like, a job over someone else who's way more qualified.
Or bias in the favorites.
Yeah.
Favorites.
Yeah, what's that called? Neopetism?
Huh?
No, it's just it's nepotism, not neopetism.
Neopetism? It's when you take your neopet and you let it die because you wasted so much time on video games. What? That sucks, though, dude. I don't have any advice other than don't take it personally, because knowing, I mean, maybe I doubt that your teacher did this with venom in her heart, but
maybe
keeping it in your head.
Could be a symbiote in there.
Things. I know that's impossible because you're angry and right to be, but other things exist. Other opportunities will come along, and if you're talented, people will see that. This one teacher that you have is not the be-all, end-all of your career in singing or theater or whatever it is you do.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I mean,
I think.
One day, who knows? You'll grow up and you'll star in your own, like, Rooster Teeth produced musical. And I'm sure it'll be great.
I'm sure you're making some hilarious jokes, but I'll assume that and not hear them because you're still breaking up.
You would have fucking appreciated it.
I'll take your word. Ha 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 ha. Hey man, Pena.
I said she'll be in a Rooster Teeth musical one day and it'll be great.
Dude, actually there was some stretch goal for there's this thing that they do called the Extra Life, which is they raise money for this Dell's Children's Hospital, which is in Texas, and they went from getting like 800,000 one year to $1 million the next year, and then this year I think they got like $1.6 million, and that's 1.6 million. I mean, not like $1.006 million.
Yeah,
but,
I was like, wow.
One of the stretch goals, because that stream is packed with them, just like any other donation stream, but. One of them was making Achievement Hunter the musical, because they had made a joke about that, and I cannot imagine why. Fans of things will literally just throw money at anyone to make anything. Who is gonna watch that? I know it's a joke, and they made it a stretch goal to help kids, but what the fuck?
Yeah, fuck those guys. Those
For helping
don't...
kids, not on my watch, pal.
What's the cost? Making a musical? I don't think so.
Not on my fucking watch. This is for Max.
Before starting, just want to
you're
apologize.
reading this?
Yeah, I know you have trouble, so I wanted to take this off your plate.
Up.
Just wanted to apologize for any spelling errors. I have dyslexia, so my spelling sucks. I was recently listening to the Rice Purity Test podcast, and when Patrick talked about how Wally in Young Justice was dead, I talked to my brother about it, and he pointed out that he had never actually died. He was just sucked into the Speed Force, and pointed out that if the Flash took a day out of his schedule and went looking for him in the Speed Force, he could find him and bring him back.
But I thought that shit.
I thought that if he did that, Zoom would probably come. Zoom? I don't know if that's a typo or not. Zoom would probably come.
Professor Zoom is in villain.
Oh, that's a real person. Okay, cool.
But Zoom
probably come and kill everyone because Flash is pretty much the only person that could match him in a fight, and that's why he hasn't gone looking for Wally yet.
I didn't stepped on a boost pad from Sonic the Hedgehog while writing this, and she just had to, Zoom!
I thought it was like, Zoom is a weird fucking thing. What is this? You want to do...
Pretty much the only person that could match him in a fight, and that's why he hasn't gone looking for Wally yet.
Trying to... Man, I feel like
What are you confused about?
I'm looking at we got a video sent to us, and I got it's from Cheyenne. Sup dudes, it's your girl Cheyenne to send you a video of a talking Captain America figure. It sounds a whole lot like Patrick's Captain America impression, or like Chris Evans being held at gunpoint recording these lines.
I am Captain America. Avengers, assemble!
That sounds nothing like me at all. It also sounds nothing like Chris Evans. He's like,
either that...
Avengers, assemble!
Question
He
mark.
sounds like Jim Carrey doing an impression as the Riddler.
Either that or I laughed way too hard in the back room when I first found the thing.
Dude.
That's amazing.
Dude. Have you ever heard of the, Batman Forever? The one with Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Did you hear that Tommy Lee Jones hated Jim Carrey so much?
Yeah.
And he was like shooting. I heard this on the Mr. Sunday Movies podcast.
Yeah.
I've been getting back into that. That's just
I love that
awesome.
podcast.
But he went to dinner. I think it was his family or something like that after shooting one day, and Jim Carrey saw him and approached him, and he was just saying hi or something like that. He wasn't like slapping him in the face with an Acme pie, but Tommy Lee Jones just like apparently was very quiet, and he was just like, "I hate you. I dislike you very much." And then Jim Carrey's like, "What?" And then Tommy Lee Jones stood up and said, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery." That is such a Tommy Lee Jones thing to do. That guy, while he isn't making movies, is a grizzled sheriff in Texas, definitely.
For sure.
I love that so fucking much. That's amazing. Also, yeah, that Captain America toy doesn't sound like me. Fuck you. Cannot sanction your buffoonery.
Wait, you sent this email?
What?
You sent this email.
That's weird.
From Patrick Charlton. You sent it this morning. Hey, dudes, your friendly neighborhood cool guy here. I just wanted to tell you that I really enjoy the show. Your dumb jokes get me through a lot of long days at the curved and infected penis factory. Something else I wanted to touch on was the subject of using the Joker's electric joy buzzer during masturbation. In my mind, I can't think of a more heavenly experience bringing myself to ejaculate while dying of electrocution to the penis is a fantasy I've had for most of my 87-year life. Anyways, thanks for making such a dope podcast, and I hope you guys burn in hell. Love, Lee Harvey Dent. Thank you, Lee Harvey Dent.
I love Lee Harvey Dent. He's a classic guy on the show.
Great
I'm going to
dude.
be doing that every single week because it made me so fucking happy to do that. That was
Thank
funny.
you. That's great. Anyways, hope he doesn't.
Who is this Lee Harvey Dent? We may never know.
I hope he doesn't get acid in his face. That would really be a shame. Anyways.
You don't put acid in your face. You put it under your tongue, idiot.
Shut the fuck up. Anyways, I want to go see Shazam. So,
Good for you.
I'll leave it at that. Thank you again for listening, guys. Before we stop, in case you're wondering, Yaman's at work. That's why you can be here today. It's Easter, so praise the Lord. Thank you to our Patreon patrons. You're all amazing people that put up with our bullshit. That's Brianna, Cassidy, Chelsea, David, Aaron, Everso Joe, Jesse, Kane, Maldo, Marianne, Monty, Rebecca, Tara, Vanessa, Jessica. I hope you experience the joy of shocking your genitalia with a Joker handshake electrocutor.
Can you imagine? Because it's got the little button on it that's like a pressure sensor, so it'll like squish, and then I want to put that right.
You could just
in
keep it
my
pressed
wiener,
down,
and then
Yep.
just like.
You could just keep it pressed down.
You ever
with
heard of the
your grip,
the pepper mill? It's like the method of masturbation where you just grab the head like a top of a pepper mill and just go like.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I want to do that except with the Joker's joy.
You remember that thing in Black Mirror where the dude got off on other people's pain or something?
And then he fucking drilled a homeless person in the eye or something.
Yeah, like
not with his dick, with an actual DeWalt drill.
Yeah, but like
pound it away.
He needed like more and more pain to like get off, which was like super
Didn't
like
he end up,
weird.
Like, while having sex with his wife just beat the fuck out of her.
Yeah, exactly. And then he would end up and like go beat up homeless people, and then end up like drilling injuries into his hands like a fucking maniac.
He got comatose, and then he had a smile on his face till his last day.
Exactly.
What?
Anyways,
Museum was one of the best episodes.
It was a great episode. If you want to send the show an email, you can send that to prudedudes@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, that's at prudedudes on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to follow our personal accounts, I am at AlexPenna97. Patrick is at PatrickSherrill25, and Yaman is at Papa Yams. 2 S's. Thank you again for listening, guys. We'll see you again next week.
Will we ever find out who Lee Harvey Dent is? I think so. Bye.